toward that person. These are the different types of love coming on the Greeks and the way they describe things. Now, agape, my brothers and sisters, does not mean a feeling of the heart. It has nothing to do with the heart. It has nothing to do with which we cannot hit. The heart type love. It means a determination of the mind. Agape love is a determination of the mind which we achieve is a goodwill. And we do goodwill even to those who do not deserve it. This is what we call agape love. The love that you hear a lot of Christians talk about is the agape love. This is the word I fairly truly believe that Christ was talking about when he said, love thy enemy. Do not hate anyone, because it's not a feeling, it's a mind thing. It's something that comes from the mind. Agape, someone once said, my brothers and sisters, is the power to love those which we do not like and who may not like us. That's what agape is. In point of fact, we can only have agape love. Jesus Christ enables us to conquer our natural tendencies to get angry and to have bitterness, and to achieve this invincible type of goodwill toward all men has to come through Christ. We can't do it on our own. God has to be in us. Christ has to lead us and to show us this type of agape love. Once again, agape love does not mean that we allow people to do what they like to us. It means, my brothers and sisters, that we must check ourselves when they do things to us and not retaliate. It is the bitterness and it is the vengeance that we must conquer. And this is what Christ is talking about. To quell that I want to get even. I'm not going to let you do me this way. This is that agape love. We must also note that this commandment of agape love is possible only for a true Christian. Now remember what I just said. I didn't say for a Christian, I said for a true Christian. Because there's a difference between someone saying I'm a Christian and you really being a true Christian. There's a big difference, my brothers and sisters. Don't let anybody ever fool you and tell you there's not. There's too many of us out there today who claim to be Christians. But when it comes to loving people and understanding people and helping people, we're just like the world. We go our own way and we don't want to be bothered. And I got mine, so you get yours. That's not a Christian way. That's a worldly way. And you're shucking and jiving and saying that you're a Christian and doing the same thing the world is doing. My brothers and sisters, we must also note, once again, that it's only through Christ and that Christ within us that we can have this type of love. Because only the grace of Christ can enable a man to have this unconquerable, unquenchable benevolence and the invincible goodwill to people who have wronged us. It takes Christ. It is only when Christ lives in our hearts that bitterness will die and his love springs to life. Only when Christ is really, really living within you. It's when we can conquer bitterness and experience the agape love of Christ. Lastly, and most important of all, we note that this commandment does not only involve allowing people to do as they like to us, But it also involves that we should do something for them. And that's what's cold. You know, did everything under the sun to hurt me, but I still must do something for you. I still must love you. My brothers and sisters, we are bidden to pray for those that misuse us. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes you can find a person that's been hateful to you and been mean to you, and you smile and been nice to them, but it blows their mind. They really can't understand where, you know, I'm doing all this, and it still ain't bother. You know, it really blows them. And I have seen it change people from being mean and being nasty when they find out that whatever they're doing can't affect you. That irregardless, that you smile at them and still love them. When people drive up down the street, curse you out, and I've had them to give me the finger and all sorts of stuff, and I smile at them and just keep on going. And they look at you like you're crazy. And this is the way we got to live our lives, not everything and let all these little things that happen in the world affect us to the point that we get caught up in the world and the things of the world. And have road rage and have upset and get ulcers and all of these kind of things. That's why we get so sick sometimes, because of all the problems of our life and the way we let the problems of life worry us. If you know that you belong to someone that can do everything under the sun, that the frustrations and all the bitterness and all the hatred and the thing that happens in your life don't bother you. When you're sick and you know the doctor tell you there's no way out, you don't worry about it because you know God's got your back. Whatever you're doing, my brothers and sisters, if the rent is not being paid or your children are acting up, you still be the best parent and do the things that you can to provide for your family and to love your kids, but always know that God's going to work it out if you do your part. If you trust in Him and believe in Him and allow Him to lead you, then you'll be surprised that you'll have less headaches. You won't have no ulcers. A lot of things will go away in a physical sense that you have because of the fact that you worrying yourself and carrying yourself in a certain way. I know it's hard and sometimes it's difficult to do, but we got to try it. And if we try it, just try it and see the difference it makes in your life. Try it and see how it just makes, I can explain it, but it makes a difference. When you trust enough in God to know that God's going to work it out if I do my part. If I'm broke and ain't got no money looking for a job, I don't get frustrated over the fact that I ain't got it. If I keep on doing my part, God going to put somebody there to take care of it. But you got to do your part also. You know, a lot of folks sit around and say, well, God going to take care of it, God going to handle it, and they ain't did nothing to allow God to do His part. God will help you and do anything under the sun, but you got to do something too. Don't ever think that it's free. Don't ever think that life is free. Don't ever think that grace is free. Don't ever think that mercy. It all costs you. It all costs you. And nothing on the sun is free. Even the love of God. You got to do something to receive the love of God. You give it to you abundantly, but you got to do something. This thing that they've been teaching us for years, that you don't have to do nothing, is the biggest lie in the world. And that's what Satan wants you to believe. He wants you to sit around and do nothing, get lazy, wait on God, and you die and go to hell.